Thank you for the talk. We can see that you learn a lot from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and it's not easy to build up the business acumen throughout the years. So my question is, if you're going to decide whether to invest in a company that is totally new to you, what will be the first features you will look at, or first a few features?
Well, I would say that it's a very good idea to consider indexing. One of the things, one of the reasons I wanted to give this talk is that I think it's not easy to be a weekend investor, if you will. If you think about, like, for example, the work that they did on Coke, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to read 100 years of annual reports. So for the for large number of investors, index investing will do quite well for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. Um, and and I think that if um, it's a good idea to study a business for the sake of studying it. It's not a good idea to study the business just purely from the perspective of, do I want to invest in this or not? And one of the things that happens is that humans have a commitment bias. So what happens is that when we spend a lot of time on something, we feel we should get some return for that time. And uh, and and so it's a little bit of a, I would say, a danger if you say that I'm going to research a company and then decide whether I want to invest or not. I think you're better off just researching the company with no such preconceived notion, because um, as you go deeper into the business, you're spending more time, and then you're feeling like, well, if I don't do anything, what's the point? And so on. So I think that maintaining the objectivity is important, and and just not being compelled to act. My my younger daughter's in the room, so I'll repeat a story I told her one time. And so I picked her up. She goes to school in New York, and so she's usually coming in these late night flights. So I picked her up one time at, like, 1 in the morning, um, from LAX, and we were driving back, and I think it was December uh, last year. We were driving back home from LAX to Irvine, and she had worked in the summer, um, as an 18-year-old, and she had made a little less than $5,000 over the summer, and and the IRA rules allow you to put up to $5,500 into an IRA, or if you make less than 5,500, then the amount you earned. So if you made 4,000, for example, you could put 4,000 into an IRA. And so I had asked her to open a Roth IRA, and then we'd put the $5,000 or so into that Roth IRA. And so she's in the car almost falling asleep, and so I was saying, you're 18 years old. Um, let's fast forward to when you're 68 years old, which is 50 years from now, and let's say that we are that $5,000 um, is um, is growing at something like, let's say, 10% a year or something, for example. And so I said that, uh, what would it be uh, when you're 68 years old? And so, if you're compounding at 10%, rule of 72, every 7 years the money is going to double. So 50, you can take 49 years, is 2 to the power 7. And what is 2 to the power 7, for Faye? Is that 128? 128. So So you take the 5,000 and you're at about something like 700,000 or something, 650,000 or something at that rate, and that's at the age of 18. If she does another internship at the age of 19 with something similar, and then eventually at maybe 22 or 23 enters the workforce, uh, and let's say when she enters the workforce she gets a, I don't know, $60,000 job or something, and at that point you're maybe hopefully saving 15% in a 401k and reducing your income by 10% or something. I mean, the key to getting wealthy is to spend less than you earn. And so what I once I told her that she was going to have like 650,000, she was wide awake. And she said, what? How did that happen, right? And I explained how it happened. And then I said, but that was at 18. I said, then at 19, you do another internship that becomes another 600,000. At 20, you do another internship, and eventually you enter the workforce, and eventually in your 30s, you're making probably six figures, and so on. And if you keep spending less than you earn, what happens when you're 70? And eventually she gave up. She said the number's too big, right? And so the thing is that that's with doing no stock picking, you know to your point, no reading, you know just party all the time, right? But just make sure that 15% gets saved. And so the thing is that the key to getting wealthy is actually very simple. Number one, spend less than you earn. Number two, put it into something consistent, some kind of S&P index or something like that. And then number three, don't take loans against it, and don't use it to go on vacation or down payment for your house or any of that. Do all that somewhere else, and just let this go. And it's amazing what those numbers will end up being at that time. And so that's a good way to go. Is um, and it's not a tragedy if she doesn't get 10%. Even 7% will double every 10 years. So you still, the key is to start early and have a long runway, and then you end up doing just fine.